bricks in the V fashion, like the bucket and the bottle. There we have the flower pot. I'm going to go scurry and find some stuff to put in the flower pots. Alright, what we have here are flower pots. They appear to have dirt in them already. I was kind of curious about that. It says you can place, let's pick a pretty sapling, a sapling in them, or a cacti. Whoa! Now my first thought on that was, can you stack it? And I'm betting not. Nope, nope. Okay, a flower. And we can put a spruce one in there. Okay, my second question, and you may have already guessed this. I don't think it's going to work, so I'm not worried about the lighting out here. We'll put the birch in it, or beech, whichever the darn thing is. And we'll put bone meal on it. Nope. Well, you gotta wonder. Alright. I hadn't thought about it, but I do wonder what happens if you pick it up. Okay, we get the flower pot, and we get the sapling, evidently. So, those are flower pots, and I guess you could... Okay, the things you cannot put in a flower pot are wheat. Oh, and you can put dead bushes, those scraggly, nasty things that grow in the desert, I assume is what they mean by that. So you can't put wheat, vines, lily pads, pumpkins, melons, netherworts, sugar canes, potatoes, or carrots in them. And if you break the block under it, both items drop. Can be placed on upside down slabs and upside down stairs. They cannot be placed on normal slabs and stairs. When aiming at the side of a block behind or above a crafting table, the pot will not be placed on said block but on top of the crafting table. Same thing works for furnaces and dispensers, but not for fences, cauldrons, or chests. It's 3/8 of a block high and can be stepped on. You can't walk from the top of a flower pot onto a full-size block without jumping, because it's just a tad under a half, I guess. Now, I'm not sure if I totally understood that. Does that mean if I try to put a flower pot here, it'll go there? And if we didn't have that up there, I don't know. Am I still carrying a jukebox? Where did we put jukebox? There's jukebox. Trying to think of a place to put the jukebox against the wall without making a mess of something else. Okay, I don't know. You don't know until you try, I guess. Ah, there it goes. Well, I'm thinking cactus here. I really am. I mean, how could you not put a cactus in that puppy? I mean, that's about the stupidest stuff you could do, so that's what you got to do. And it won't work on a chest. It'll work on furnaces, dispensers, but not fences or chests or cauldrons. And they don't mention jukebox, but you know how that goes. So if we're way past the end of my day, so if there's something else you think about, give it a try, because this isn't listed, and well, there the little sucker is. Okay, I wonder if you can get rid of... Nope, you have to get rid of the whole thing, I think. I was wondering if you could just get rid of the cactus in it, or the bush, for example. I think we're hitting a block behind it. I think it's the whole wazoo or nothing, yeah. Well, that's kind of cool. As if you're in decorating rooms and all that, and a lot of people are, and that's cool. So we got flower pots now, and we'll move on to another part of the update. Gonna run through a couple of things while I'm still thinking about it here. Mobs, items, and projectiles now pass through the portals into the nether, preserving momentum. Entities will pass through instantly but at a longer cooldown. Portals will allow fire-burning entities like blazes to leave the nether and potentially burn things. If you've got open portals, you should be aware that things could come through that could cause forest fires. I'm not sure that you have to have, for most mobs you have to have a player around to spawn them, so I don't know how they dealt with that. This one I knew was coming, and I've been saving seeds for it. Chickens now use seeds instead of wheat to breed. Pigs now use carrots instead of wheat to breed. And if you don't have carrots, that's going to be a real bummer for people. But, what are pigs essential for? If it were cows, that would be a real pig slapper. Um, Experience is now awarded for fishing and breeding. I'm not going to read all this. You can look it up, but those are pretty important. Being able to burn through seeds for chickens is like free feed for your. If you're like me, you've got seeds to last until the till you're as old as I am, still feeding your chickens for free. The carrots thing, though, is going to be kind of a trip when some people offer their pigs wheat and try to figure out what the hell happened to them. And the blazes coming through nether portals ought to be a trip. And the sounds did change. A bunch of sounds changed, and I think you'll run across all those. Like I said, a lot of this is just purely written stuff you can look up for yourself. But those, I think, are kind of important.